On the West 3D kit, you're going to use these extrusions with the end caps. On a different kit, you might have corner brackets instead, but I'm going to show the West 3D method. But if you have corner brackets, you'll put the corner bracket on the end and then fasten that into the extrusion. You're going to, in either case, you're going to need these hammer nuts or T-nuts to put in here. The way that I do it, these are pretty easy. You just kind of angle them and drop them in, and then they just kind of sit there. So once you get them in, there's a bag here labeled SS for frame. They're M5 by 8s, and we're going to fasten these. We're going to just put the screw in a little bit and then use the blind hole here to then tighten it. So you're going to have to slide the screw, take off these end caps and slide the screw in through this extrusion, and then that's how you're going to fasten it to the frame. Now if you make a mistake and get too many in, you can easily remove these. You just kind of have to twist them out. I like using a pair of tweezers here. So you just kind of give them a little twist and they come right out. When you're putting them in, make sure that the wider part is at the top. So hopefully that you can see that all right. So this should match kind of the profile of the extrusion in terms of how it's going to hold it at the top when you tighten it down. All right, I went ahead and gotten all my T-nuts and screws prepared. So now I'm going to remove the plastic piece on the end stops here. We're going to come in afterwards because we have to slide these in. Then I'll just slide in this one first and then slide in the other side. And we're not going to worry about spacing right now. We'll do that here in a second, but I'm just going to tighten them just enough so they don't flop around too much. After this, I'm going to repeat for this one, and then we're going to measure it up and sync them with the using a tape measure or a ruler. All right, so here I'm measuring the total width of the cube from outside to outside, which is 510, and our center point then is going to be about, so dividing 510 by 2, that should be 255. So then you can kind of see the 250 on here. And then it's probably a good idea to go ahead and mark your center point on here. Okay, I've got my meter stick here, and I'm going to mark the 255 center point, which is right there. Make sure that you've got things, you got this edge flushed up. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. All right, in the next step, we're going to have to tighten these up where from center point, this mark here to here, or here, at 65 millimeters. And from between these two, it should be 130. So we're going to go ahead and measure carefully off that center point and then do the same thing there. Went ahead and done the same thing here, and I'm checking it for 130 millimeters distance, which looks good. Now on this other side here, I haven't tightened these yet, but I'm going to cheat. And this should be good enough, but I'll double check it too. Okay, there we go. And then tighten it down, and then check your insides. If you have anything off, yeah, see that's a little off, so that means that my measurement on this side probably was not as precise as it should have been. There we go. That looks better. I'm going to do the same thing here. Exactly 130 on that. It's kind of hard to read this ruler. I went ahead and unboxed the rails. You can see here. These are MGN9 rails. And I'm basically going to be unwrapping these, getting them ready. So they're going to need to be cleaned and oiled. There's 3 of them there. You can see the little West 3D logo on there, which is kind of cool. And I am going to be, as you can see, some different size rails here that we've got. Okay, I went ahead and got all the rails out. So I have 6 of these MGN9 rails. And then I've got 1 of these MGN12 rails, which that's going to be used for the Trident style gantry with the stealth burner. These look to be pretty high quality rails. From what I can tell, they look nice and smooth. You can also see that there's the West 3D logo on them, which is kind of neat. They do have little rail stoppers in here as well to keep the carriages from sliding off. And for the Z-axis, we're going to need 4 rails of the MGN 9s. I'm going to go ahead and get these cleaned up as well. You should just be able to cut them open and slide them out. And these really aren't too heavy in terms of grease, so they should be pretty easy to clean. Even though there isn't much on these, I'm going to go ahead and clean them off with a paper towel and some IPA. Okay, to clean these rails, I'm just going to use some isopropyl alcohol and some paper towels. These, again, these really don't have much grease on them, so there's not much that I have to do here. Wipe it along like this. Get it soaked really good. And then I just clean the entire rail. And that's pretty much all you should have to do with these. Now I'm going to take this syringe that came with some grease that I need for my rails, and I'm going to remove the tip. And I'm going to place on this finer tip. And this is going to allow me to get right into where these ball bearings are. And this is Greg from the future here. I could not find the footage of loading the oil into the Z, so I'm showing it with the X rail. But it's really the same technique. You just want to, the way I do it is I slide the rail all the way down and giving it a very gentle helping of oil here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Wipe off the end, and then I'll repeat on the other side. Just try to pack that in there as good as you can. And that should be pretty good. This has a nice preload on it. The rail's not going to slide off. Now we're going to be mounting the rails to the frame, and we're going to do this on all 4 sides. This is the bottom of the frame, how I have it rotated, and the rails are going to sit here, and there's going to be a 3mm gap as the rail sits there. That's basically going to go in right like this with about the width of a screw, which I've got here. Now when you go ahead and set these in, so I've already pre-threaded these with M3x8, so I'm going about every other spacing. So there's going to need to be about 10 screws in my particular length, since I've got a larger frame here. And then I'm also, make sure that you use these M3 T-nuts like this. You do not want to use the drop-in hammerhead T-nuts. So these are the ones that the manual calls for. And we're going to go ahead and insert those now. Okay, to do this, I recommend lining up your rail and then just go ahead and roll in these T-nuts. Make sure that you roll them in where the wide part is on the top. You're going to do that just like this. Doesn't really matter which way they face. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and pick this up and set it on top of the T-nuts. With any luck, they'll line up and I'll be able to keep going. I'm going to just go ahead and snug each one, and then I'm eventually going to need to manipulate it a little bit so I can get the exact position down here. Now I'm going to take my screw. I'm just going to kind of go all the way, and then I'm going to back off just a tiny bit because these screws aren't completely 3mm, but they're pretty close. Now I'm going to go ahead and place my rail centering tool, and I'm going to just tighten everything up. Okay, once you've done that, it's a good idea to test your rail. Make sure it operates smoothly, which it does. And then we're just going to repeat for the other side of the extrusion over here. Okay, I've gone ahead and gotten this one prepped. Just going to do the same thing. I'll lift it, set it in, and get it tightened up. And it's really just the same drill. I prepared the rails with M3x8s, and then I've got some M3 T-nuts, and I'm just gonna insert them, do one side at a time, and leaving a 3mm or so gap. Okay, now that I've got the cube upside down, I'm gonna go ahead and take my panel, and make sure you pay attention to which side you want to use. I want the textured side to be going this way so I can see it, so I won't see it on the bottoms. The next thing you're going to need is you'll need to insert T-nuts into these little spots right here. Also take notice that this little groove in the back, that's for the back side of the printer, so this will become the front side of my printer. You also need to put these little T-nuts in here. So I've already inserted mine in. You'll also need these 2 DIN rails that are going to go right on top. And you're going to need 4 of these M5 by 10 button head screws. If your holes are not lined up, you probably have an issue with your extrusion widths, so you need to fix that. Hopefully not, though. All right, so then you just line your DIN reels up how you want them with access to the screws, and then I'm just going to go ahead and sink the screws. Okay, got that one in. I'll repeat the process.